On behalf of RIMT University, Mandi Govindgarh, Punjab, I proudly welcome you all on this one-day national webinar on Ayurveda and its role in control of COVID-19. Now, I would like to request Dr. Suresh Kantwan, Dean and Professor, School of Computing and Coordinator of IQAC for further proceedings. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ramneet. We are very delighted to have CARI Kolkata Ministry of Ayush Director Dr. P.V. Prasad. I would like to request Dr. Professor Bindra, Director Academics, for his welcome words. And then I will like to request Dr. Ramneet Kaur for his welcome profile, please.
On behalf of RIMT, I welcome Dr. P.V. Prasad, Director, Central Ayurveda Research Institute, Kolkata, Ministry of Ayush. Sir, it is my pleasure to have you on this webinar, and what I think that this is the most appropriate time to have this type of webinar on Ayurveda and its role in control of COVID-19. With a lot of controversies around, we have a lot of doubts in our mind, all my media created. Personally, I am fan of Ayurveda medicines, and I do sincerely believe that Ayurveda and allopathy mix can do wonders. And this is our traditional form belonging to India only, and we have given this Ayurveda to the world. And what I think is that associating with person like you will be beneficial not only to the not only to the RIMT society, RIMT family, but also the message delivered by you will be delivered by way of my students to all around North India. We are having around 100 students here, and they are from not only from northern India but throughout India and abroad. We are having good number of students from Tanzania, Bangladesh, Nepal, and many other countries. So, not wasting time, sir, before I hand over the mic to Dr. Ramneet, I'm looking for a very long-term association with you, sir, and we'll be looking for many new guidelines and rather new way ahead as you will guide us, and I'm sure that in our university we will, down the line we will be starting certain useful Ayurveda courses, and for that we will be needing your help, and I'm looking forward to it. And one more thing, I'm looking forward to your physical presence. I'm looking forward to the day when I will welcome you in the RIMT campus. I'm not wasting time. I request Dr. Ramneet to continue with her proceedings, and wish all the participants good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, a man with great vision and mission, an icon for hard work, he is our today's guest speaker, Dr. Venkata Prasad, Director, Central Ayurveda Research Institute, Ministry of Ayush, Kolkata, who has crossed the boundaries of excellence with his spirit toward profession. He is working towards connecting minds to strive towards success and achievements. We are grateful to him for accepting our invitation and become a guest speaker for today's webinar. We welcome you, sir. The task of introducing Dr. V.V. Prasad is a great privilege. He has done his BA/MS from NRS Government Ayurvedic College, Vijayawada, Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh in 1987. Okay. MD from Department of Dravaguna, Faculty of Ayurveda, Institute.
Dr. Ramneet, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
And we are very happy to have with us Dr. B.S. Bhatia, Pro VC of the university. I suppose
No,
he has joined the
we have
webinar.
technical problems.
But Dr. Kaswan is saying that there is technical problem, so you can continue.
Please continue.
Please.
So today's task of introducing Dr. V.V. Prasad is a great privilege. He has done his BA-MS from NRS Government Ayurvedic College, Vijayawada in 1987, MD from Department of Dravya Guna, Faculty of Ayurveda, Institute of Medical Sciences, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh, and doctorate from Department of Dravaguna, Faculty of Ayurveda, Institute of Medical Sciences, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi in 1998. Sir has more than 27 years of research experience. He has been Assistant Research Officer in Regional Research Center, Meerut, Uttar Pradesh, Research Officer in National Institute of Medical Heritage, Hyderabad, Assistant Director in Regional Ayurveda Research Institute for Mother and Child Health, Nagpur, Assistant Director, National Center of Indian Medical Heritage, Telangana, Hyderabad, Assistant Director in Charge, National Center of Indian Medical Heritage, Telangana, Hyderabad, Director, Central Ayurveda Research Institute, Ministry of Ayush, Government of Easy Schedule. I hope that the participants are able to seek guidance and imbibe something from his thoughts. Now I request Sir to enlighten the audience with his precious word as we begin with the event. Thank you, sir, and we welcome you all.
Thank you, one and all. First of all, I would like to thank the faculty, RMIMT University, Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Bhatia-ji, Professor Bindra-ji, Professor Amit-ji, and who have contacted me, Professor Suresh-ji. Thank you so much for inviting me for today's lecture and giving me this opportunity. Thank you one and all once again. And on behalf of my institute and my officers, I would like to thank you all for inviting us and calling for today's presentation on role of Ayurveda in the COVID pandemic. Let me share this presentation. Sir, Suresh sir, is it visible? My slide is visible?
Yes, sir. Your slide is visible, sir.
Okay. Is it moving?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again. And thanks for introduction about myself. Thank you so much. And my today's topic is role of Ayurveda in COVID-19 pandemic. God of Ayurveda, Lord Dhanvantari. And now, first of all, I would like to throw light on what is Ayurveda and how it works. Let us see. I think during this all 1.5 years, everyone, those who are not knowing about Ayurveda or Ayush systems, now they came to know, they have knowledge, they have awareness now. Ayurveda is the science of life and it is a way of life too. Ayurveda is an ancient Indian medical system existing since time immemorial. Ayurveda has two main objectives. One is protecting and maintaining the health of an healthy individual rather, and providing the treatment to the diseased person. These are the two main objectives of Ayurveda. For preventive aspect of diseases in Ayurveda, we advocate Swastha Vritta. One separate chapter is there. In that, preventive aspects of health are mentioned. And I am proud to say that in the world, only the medical system, Ayurveda, which mentions more than 90% of the preventive aspects in health care. And in this Swastha Vritta, chapters are different chapters are there. These 3 chapters, Dinacharya, that is daily regimen, which covers diet and behavior related knowledge. And second one is Ritacharya, that is seasonal regimen. The same thing, diet, behavior related knowledge is mentioned there. Sadhuruta, that is good conduct. Let's say individual based, the individual or society, how to maintain the good conduct. Then automatically the society or individual will be healthy if you maintain a good conduct. For the regarding management part or treatment of diseases, there are suitable medications with herbal, herbomineral and metallic preparations. And other than this, there are special treatment procedures like Rasayana, Vajikaran, Panchakarma and Kshara Sutra. Rasayana is nothing but rejuvenation, and Vajikarana related to fertility related and aphrodisiac activities. And this Panchakarma, when you know, nowadays everybody knows about the Panchakarma, Kerala Panchakarma procedure. There are several nursing homes are there, centers are there for with Panchakarma procedures are done there for different disorders like musculoskeletal disorders, nervine disorders. These Panchakarma procedures are mainly used. Kshara Sutra, this is the one type of treatment procedure for anorectal disorders like piles, fistula, etc. These are the special treatments available with the Ayurveda. Now coming to once again, it's Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a mixture of 2 words, that is Ayu, that is span of life, and Veda, nothing but knowledge. That comes Ayurveda, knowledge system of healthy and happy life. And this Ayurveda covers illness, wellness and happiness of an individual. Thus Ayurveda covers all aspects which affect the life. Based on logical thinking and empirical evidence and wise observations of rishis, this Ayurveda is developed. Ayurveda is open-minded, unlike popular perception that it is rigid and not open to new ideas. There are several new ideas are acceptable and welcome in this system. You can add to the different new disorders, new concepts are welcome in this Ayurvedic system. Now, I would like to throw some light on basic principles briefly, basic principles of Ayurveda. Mainly, these Ayurvedic concepts are based on Panchamahabhuta theory, 5 gross elements. Next, Tridosha and Tridhatu. The 3 basic biological entities. These are Vata, Pitta and Kapha. All the health of the person and disease condition of the person will depend on the level and reaction of these 3 doshas. Now coming to the psychological aspects, there are Sattva, Rajo, Tama, 3 gunas they are called. Tridanda, 3 sticks of human life, that is psyche, soul and body. This is called Tridanda. And 7 body tissues, that is Sattadhatu, Rasarakta, Mamsa, Medha, Asti and Majja, Shukra. Trimala, Purisha, Mutra and Sveda. All the body entities, because of health and disease condition of any person depends on these all components of the body. Now coming to the most important thing that regarding immunity. Final refined product of digestion, that of metabolism, that is vital immunity, Ojas or Vyadhi Kshamatva. We call it immunity. Next one is Tristambha, 3 pillars of the body, that is diet, sleep and celibacy. These are all the main components of the Ayurvedic concepts basically. Now coming to the again this two main objectives of Ayurveda, that is the maintenance of health, management of diseases. Through maintenance of health, you can prevent, promotion and maintenance can be done, and for the management, one has to concentrate and deal with the diet, sleep and celibacy. This Ayurvedic system is a personal holistic approach. not a symptomatic approach won't be there, and system-wise approach won't be there, but personalized and holistic approach will be considered of this through this Ayurveda, and treatment will be provided through this Ayurveda. Now coming to the references of epidemics in Ayurveda, the word Janapadodvamsha, that is epidemics, is mentioned by Acharya Charaka of one of our ancient scholars, and we have one classical text called Charaka Samhita that is based on his theories. In this, Janapadodvamsha word is used, and there is a separate chapter described in Janapadodvamsha, that is any vitiation of Vayu, air, water, place and time. If these are all vitiated, then Janapadodvamsha will occur. That is the basic concept about these epidemics in Ayurveda. And one more thing, as I said earlier, we are welcome to the new diseases. It comes, we can describe them in our concept, basic concepts of Ayurveda, like COVID-19, dengue, Zika, and chikungunya. There are several newly emerged diseases are there. Ayurveda has specified treatment that may be specifically mentioned that there may be innumerable number of diseases possible out of permutations and combinations of Tridoshas and Saptadhatus and Trimalas. What I said earlier, because of these three things only, the body can affected by the diseases, or health may be maintained with this if these are all in your balanced kind of state. The guidelines for diagnosis of disease in terms of Nidana Panchaka, there are pathological concepts are also mentioned in Ayurveda, that is called Nidana Panchaka, that is etiology, prodromal symptoms, symptomatology, pathogenesis and prognosis, etc. are explained in detail in our classical text of Ayurveda. Based on this, one can infer the etiopathogenesis of any disease which are newly discovered. That can be described in a basic concepts of Ayurveda. The COVID-19 may also be explored on the same guidelines. COVID-19 is considered to be caused due to vitiation of Vata along with cough in initial phase and the Pitta in the later stage, making it a Sannipati, that is a combination of all the three doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So COVID-19 may be considered as disease caused due to the combination of vitiation of three doshas, that is Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Thereby next step is the Saptadhatus, that is vital contents of the body are Rasarakta Mamsa Medo Asti. These are all will be vitiated later on. And finally, that Voja, that is called immunity, will be affected in this disease. That is the concepts as per the Ayurveda. Now coming to the scenario of global and Indian scenario of COVID cases. The globally, it is about 4 hours back status. This 20 crores confirmed cases around globally. Globally, active cases are 1.57 crores, and deaths 42.7 lakhs, and recovered cases are 18.1 crore. This is the global scenario. Now coming to the Indian scenario, total cases are 3.18 crore, the active cases are 4.1 lakh, deaths happened were 4.26 lakhs, and recovered cases are 3.1 crore. This is our present scenario. Now coming to how to tackle and how to control COVID-19 virus. One has to keep in mind 3 points mainly. Preventing the virus entering into our body cells. That is one thing. Through this we are following SMS to prevent the infection and stopping its replication inside the cells which are affected. The replication should be stopped. Viral duplication should be stopped. And thirdly, reducing the damage that occurs to our tissues. These are the 3 things one has to keep in mind tackling in the COVID-19 virus infection. In this, by keeping in the 3 points in mind, Ministry of Ayush Government of India has initiated several activities, several initiations to promote Ayurveda among the public and to bring the awareness about Ayush systems in this pandemic situation, and acted like anything, and they have issued several guidelines time to time. This is Ayush is acronym is A for Ayurveda, U for Y for Yoga, and U for Unani, S for Siddha, and H for Homeopathy. So entire Indian systems are covered in this ministry. Earlier it was not there, it was in the Ministry of Family Health and Family Welfare. Since 2014, a separate ministry was established. Now we have one separate ministry in the Government of India. So time to time, our Ministry of Ayush, even our department CCRS comes under this ministry, and our institute also comes under this Ministry of Ayush. This Ministry of Ayush has issued guidelines for the practitioners. Research guidelines and related documents are issued. Drug policy has been decided and it was circulated to the manufacturers of COVID-19 drugs, and telemedicine practice guidelines in Ayush are also issued, and training resources for COVID-19 management to grassroots level was issued, guidelines were issued, training was provided to ANMs, ASHA workers, etc. And communication to states and union territories at time to time were circulated and monitored very well through this Ministry of Ayush. There are several studies taken up by the Ministry of Ayush all over India for the prophylaxis studies in the COVID-19, and mainly our CCRS was very much involved in this. We have done several studies across the country with our 30 units which are located in different states. So this is about our department, Central Council for Research in Ayurvedic Sciences. Our headquarters at Delhi, Janakpuri. Our DG CCRS, Dr. M. Srikant sir is heading now. And through this department and through all the 30 units all over the country, we are working and to prevent the COVID-19 infection since 2020 March or April weather. So still work is going on, and still we are giving the medicine and doing the surveys, and everything is carried out by this our institutes, like our institute as well as other institutes under this Central Council for Research in Ayurvedic Sciences. Now coming to the immunity boosting measures for self-care. This was issued by the Ministry of Ayush in 2020 only, and still it is very much popular. These measures are used by several people, population across the country. Measures for enhancing the immunity. That's drinking warm water throughout the day, daily practice of yogasana and pranayam, meditation for 30 minutes minimum. Spices like haldi, jeera, dhania and lashun are recommended for this. And there are simple Ayurvedic procedures like nasal application, sesame oil application, or sesame oil or coconut oil or ghee in both the nostrils. That is called Pratimarsha Nasya. Nasya procedure is there in the Ayurvedic system. So this is also useful in this pandemic situation. And one more thing is oil pulling therapy. This is the procedure how to take this. Take 1 tablespoon sesame oil or coconut oil in mouth. Do not drink it, but switch in the mouth for 2 to 3 minutes and spit it off, followed by warm water rinsing. So this can be done twice a day. And now coming to the Ayurvedic immunity enhancing tips, there is Chyawanprash. I think everyone knows about Chyawanprash now. This should be taken in 10 grams in the morning. Diabetic should take sugar-free Chyawanprash also available, that can be taken. And after that, drink herbal tea or decoction made from tulsi, dalchini and kal mirch, shunti. And if you want any taste, you can add munakka also into that. This also, jaggery also can be used. This herbal tree. And one more important thing is golden milk. Half teaspoonful of haldi, that is turmeric, 150 ml of hot milk, once or twice can be taken. This is named as golden milk. So now coming to the actions during the dry cough and sore throat. Steam inhalation is advocated. You can add mint leaves and ajwain also, and lavang powder mixed with natural sugar or honey can be taken 2 to 3 times a day. And these measures generally treat normal dry cough and sore throat. However, it is not cured or subsided, then you have to consult the physician, Ayurveda physician. These are the guidelines given in the 2020 itself. Now still this is more important to carry out. Same thing what I mentioned, this in the pictorial form I am depicting. This is about Nasha, this is the procedure, gargling, steam inhalation, and yoga and meditation practice. This is a golden milk, that is turmeric and milk combination. There is one more thing is Ayush Quad is there. Next slide I will explain about that. These are the things have to be carried, and people have practiced it very well, and they have prevented their infection, and they advocated to some other people or even family members, friends. It is more popular during these days. This to other measures like what I tell, Chyawanprash, same thing, and these 3 things are there. Same thing, the herbal tea and this Chyawanprash and golden milk. Drinking hot water. Hot liquid is considered to be superior to cold liquids in the management of upper respiratory tract in the Ayurvedic system. So we advocate hot drinks only. Spices. Haldi, jeera, dhania and lashun are recommended in cooking. We usually practice in India, this is our custom to practice, use all these spices, but this can be taken a little bit more during this pandemic. That will useful to the public, persons who are ready to take the preventive aspects. So kitchen is the primary pharmacy. Spices are best medicines. It can act as medicines to prevent infections when used in a right quality and quantity in daily cooking. These are all advocated. This next coming to Chyawanprash. This Chyawanprash is it works at cellular level, mediated by immune stimulation. It is proven one, and keen immune cells, the dendritic cells and macrophages and natural killer cells will be affected, and it will be prevented from the COVID-19. And this mainly it contains amla, that Phyllanthus emblica, Phyllanthus officialis rather, has immune benefits in boosting immunity if it is consumed daily. It also helps to prevent cold and cough. It is readily available in the market. This is just to highlight this amla. The amla is nothing but this Emilica officinalis. That amla is a great source of vitamin C. Now even modern medicine also advocated vitamin C abundantly during this period to boost immunity. So this is best Chyawanprash. Amla is a great source of vitamin C. Maximum main ingredient is Chyawanprash is amla. That's why I'm showing this slide. So vitamin C is a water soluble vitamin, and which is an antioxidant. So it has broad spectrum antioxidant activity, excellent iron and copper chelating activity also there, and MMP, matrix metalloproteases inhibitory activity also is there. So Emblica antioxidant utilizes a multi-level cascade of antioxidant compounds, resulting in a long-lasting and stable antioxidant activity. So better to use Chyawanprash. So now coming to the Ayush Quad, which is also most popular during these days, and it is available in the market as well, but it was advocated mainly from Ministry of Ayush only. It contains tulsi, that is Ocimum sanctum, and dalchini, cinnamomum virum, and kali mirch, that is Piper nigrum, and shunti, Gingiber officinalis. For taste purpose, you can add the Monacca, Vitis vinifera, and you can boil and filter it and take it as twice or thrice a day. This is about the same thing. Contained ingredients are mentioned once again, and this method of preparation. Just I want to throw light on this. You add 3 grams or 1 teaspoonful of Ayushpad powder in 150 ml of water and allow it to boil, and then switch off the flame. Cover the container. Cover with the container and lid and keep it for 2 to 3 minutes. Then strain the decoction and take it in lukewarm. That will help you to boost your immunity. Now same thing about the golden milk. So 150 ml of hot milk, once or twice you can add haldi and take it. Haldi or turmeric is found to be highly beneficial in boosting immunity and preventing infections, mainly upper respiratory infections. Nasha, this is the procedure, Pratimarsha Nasha. Daily nasal application of 2 drops of sesame oil or coconut oil or ghee in both the nostrils in the morning and evening. It is advised to use daily, essentially before leaving home and before sleeping. Take 1 to 2 drops of Anutaila. This preparation is available in the market and on the finger, and pour it in both the nostrils. Anutaila acts as a physical and foreign bodies, microorganisms inside the nasal cavity. These can act as a preventive layer from the entry and procreation of the virus, like biomask when used regularly. It can prevent, it's because it is very sticky, and it can prevent the entry of the virus and virus load. Now coming to the steam inhalation, this is the procedure. We can add fresh pudina leaves or ajwain and can be used along with the water once in a day. It should be especially done during the dry cough and sore throat. Diet. Ayurveda advocates what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat, how much we have to eat. The Ayurveda has clearly mentioned everything about diet. There are several chapters mentioned in this classical text about diet and dietary items. The wholesome food should be taken, and a wholesome food means it should contain 6 tastes. Tastes are there, mentioned this. So we have to cover all the tastes, not the single only bitter taste. If you like, only you should not take only one type of taste. You have to cover all the things in a balanced way. So this is the slide to show this one, and when to eat. So this vata, based on everything is based on this vata pitta kapha. Since morning time kapha will be more in the body, and afternoon pitta, and evening time this vata will be predominant in quantity or whatever say activity maybe. So based accordingly we have to select our food and food items based on time and dosage also. One should leave in the stomach of one part of stomach space for free from air, and solid should be there 2%, and another part should be for liquid food. This is the way we have to take the food. Now coming to some guidelines for diet in COVID-19 management. Some ginger and rock salt should be added to our dietary items. Light to digest food should be taken, like soups. Moong dal can be used abundantly. Soups of vegetables and meat, khichdi, pulka, and vegetable like jay, turai, bindi, etc. should be taken, because these are all very light for digestion. You won't face any indigestion if you take them. Use spices like jeera, black pepper, garlic, coriander, ginger, ajwain, etc. If appetite and digestion improves, one can start with normal diet and quantity of food as per appetite. This is about COVID management situation. And in this to COVID management, we have to follow some lifestyle. So wake up early in the morning, that is 5 to 5:30 a.m. Ushapana, drink warm water, follow natural urges, clean the face and oral cavity, brushing the teeth and with astringent toothpaste or powder. Nowadays, we find in the market that earlier people used to use charcoal. Nowadays, in the latest trend is there that paste also in the market is available with charcoal. So better to use such astringent paste for brushing and prevent frequent gargling with warm water added with salt and turmeric should be practiced. Further, washing face with warm water is important. 2 drops of Anuthaila, as I said earlier, putting the nostril. So, oil application daily at least on head, ear and foot. It will help the body if you've done it once in a week. And yoga and light physical exercises are advisable in this situation. Longevity, a way of life, and latest theories is my health, my responsibility. For your health, you are responsible. You have to follow the things to prevent from any infection. So diet, nutrition, exercise, massage, yoga, meditation, work-life balance, happy state of mind, adequate rest, with sleep, seasonal panchakarma therapies, that is purificatory measures, rejuvenating herbs can be used to maintain the longevity of life. So yoga for mental well-being during COVID-19. There are simple yogasanas, sukshma vyayama, and loosening exercise for all joints. Sitting postures are there. Yogasana in spine postures, yogasana in prone position, relaxing postures like Shavasana and Makarasana, pranayam, that is nothing but deep breathing, and meditation for at least 10 minutes. This should be practiced daily to prevent and cure the infection. This is about the Ayush Sanjeevani app, which was developed by Ministry of Ayush to get the assessment about the acceptance and effectiveness and the usage of Ayush advisories and measures in prevention of COVID-19. A digital technology enabled study was done last year to know about the popularity of the Ayush systems among the public. This is the background about this Ayush Sanjeevani app. This is the expected outcome through this. This work was one of its kind and will surely play a pivotal role in generating evidence of impact of Ayush among population and will pave the way towards bringing Ayush healthcare services to mainstream by sensitizing scientific community toward its impact and importance in catering healthcare need of public. This is to give the awareness to the public about Ayush systems and know about their feedback. This is the main objectives. Primary and secondary objectives are there in developing this Ayush Sanjeevani app to assess acceptance and uses of, as I said earlier, to investigate and compare risk of COVID-19 among Ayush preventive measures, users and compared to non-users, and to investigate improvement in general well-being. Through this app, this mobile app was used and this was circulated among the public and data was taken from them and it was assessed. Total population who had used Ayush-based prophylactic measures for prevention of COVID-19 as recorded through Ayush Sanjeevani app. This is the main motto of this outcome of this Ayush Sanjeevani app. This is a secondary, same thing I have mentioned. Now this year, in the month of May, our Honorable Minister at that time, Shri Kiren Rijiju has launched this mobile app to study about the Ayush Sanjeevani app will facilitate and a significant study and documentation regarding the efficacy of selected Ayush interventions, including Ayush 64. About this Ayush 64, I will narrate next slides. And Kabasura Kudenir, this is one of Siddha medicines which is prevalent in Tamil Nadu area, and the management of asymptomatic and mild to moderate COVID-19 patients. This year, we have distributed I-64 in the entire country for the asymptomatic and mild to moderate cases of COVID-19. Now coming to the actual management of COVID-19. Earlier we have discussed about more preventive aspects. Now we are going to treatment part. There are several guidelines issued, as I said in the earlier, by Ministry of Ayush. This is guidelines for Ayurveda practitioners for COVID-19. It was issued. There are protocol. This is about prophylaxis of COVID-19, specific measures and symptom management. This is clinical severity, prophylactic medicines, mainly this ashwagandha, Vithania somnifera and its powder, 500 milligrams, 1 to 3 grams powder twice daily with warm water for 15 days or 1 month or as directed by the physician. Next comes the Guduchi Ganavati, that is Tinospora cardifolia. It's the best medicine. These two are the best medicine during this pandemic situation. Very popular, and people are getting it online also, and they are using by themselves. And this Guduchi Ganavati, 500 mg extract, 1 to 3 grams powder, twice daily with warm water for 15 days or 1 month or as directed by physician. Third one is Chyawanprash, 10 grams with warm water and milk once a day. This is the ready reckoner about and at a glance for holistic management of different stages of COVID-19. So pre-infection stage, asymptomatic stage, mild to symptom stage, moderate symptom stage, and severe symptoms, and cure rehabilitation. As I said, we have covered preventive aspects and asymptomatic and mild to moderate cases only. When symptoms are severe, no intervention through Ayush systems, it was referred to the centers. And after curing, after the cure of the treatment, COVID-19, then you can use Guduchi, Amlaki, Gokshura and other things for the further post-COVID management. So these are all the things, Guduchi and Pipali Churna, Ayush Kada, Samshavanavati, same thing with Guduchi. It contains Guduchi, Sudarshan Ganavati, which Ayurveda uses for fever cases. And Anutaila, as I said earlier, this for nausea, twice daily. Steam inhalation is advocated. Bilbadi Gutika for the bowel regulation. And Vyoshadivati. It contains 3 pungent drugs, Piper longum, Piper nigrum and Gingiber officinalis. Now coming to the I-64, which was developed. I am proud to say that this was developed by the CCRAS. That too, our institute, Central Ayurveda Research Institute, it was developed in this institute for malarial. It is an anti-malarial drug actually. Nowadays, in this situation, it was studied widely for the COVID-19 infection and promoted for the, as I said earlier, for asymptomatic, mild and moderate cases. And we have distributed all over India free of cost through some NGOs like Seva Bharati and other NGOs. It was distributed by the CCRS only, and it is some companies have also prepared it and it is available in the market also. This study has been just recently stopped because of there are less number of cases nowadays. Earlier we used to distribute them and we used to take the brief details about the patient on Aadhaar card and Aadhaar number and mobile number. With that, we have to manage them, and treatment was given for 21 days. And I-64, as I said, it is developed by this organization and this institute. And this drug was repurposed as the ingredient showed notable antiviral and anti-immune modulator and antipyretic properties are there. Earlier, as I said, it was meant for malaria, and now we have used the property to cure this COVID-19. The in silico study done on I-64 showed that about 35 out of 36 of its phytoconstituents have high binding affinity against COVID-19 virus. It was studied well, that's why it is implemented. The formulation has also shown very promising results in influenza-like illnesses. So with the scientific evidence and generated from 6 clinical studies across the country, I-64 has been identified as a potential adjuvant to standard care and in the management of asymptomatic, mild and moderate cases of COVID-19 to improve the clinical recovery and quality of life as well. This is the dosage of I-64, 2 tablets of 500 milligrams twice daily, 1 hour after meal with warm water for 14 days. The dose for mild to moderate cases are 2 tablets, 500 mg thrice daily, 1 hour after meals with warm water for 14 days. This is the pattern we use. We studied, this institute has studied around 2000 cases. This is a home care guideline for children issued by the Ministry of Ayush. This is the one of the activities carried out by our institute, Ayush for Immunity campaign at our institute. We have to immunity campaigns are there, several awareness camps are organized in and around Kolkata and in our OPD, daily OPD. This is about this, as I said, we have distributed I-64 at our institute level and outside also through some NGOs like Seva Bharati. This is about Samchamanavati that contains Guduchi, Tinospora cardifolia. This is the dose, 2 tablets daily, twice morning and evening. Main ingredient is Guduchi. It prevents and the usage is beneficial as immune modulator and prevents occurrence of communicable diseases. This is the post-COVID-19 management. First one is Ayushvada, 150 ml daily, Samchamanavati, 500 mg BD, Ashwagandha powder, 1 to 3 grams twice daily per day with lukewarm water for 15 days. Amla powder, Amla alone can also be taken, 1 to 3 grams per day. Muleti, that is Estimadu call it, Glycyrrhiza glabra, 1 to 3 grams twice per day with lukewarm water. And finally the Chyawanprash, 1 teaspoonful, 5 gram, that means once daily. Above all medication should be taken by consulting Ayurveda physician only. This for post already infected patients with COVID-19 can take afterwards. This is one thing is there. Why we use Ashwagandha and Guduchi like medicines in this infectious pandemic situation? I told earlier that Rasayana, one procedure is there, that is rejuvenation therapy. What is Rasayana? That I want to throw light on this. The medicine or treatment procedure which prevents and cures diseases and retards the aging, good for the eyes, strengthening the body. That is defined as Rasayana, that is rejuvenation therapy. And Rasayana Tantra, which is often wrongly interpreted as geriatrics by some people, but it is not like that. One of its dimensions is prevention and premature of senility. It is not directly, it cannot be directly interpreted as geriatrics. And Rasayana procedures may help to maintain positive health and contribute for cure of diseases including lifestyle disorders. The Rasayana drugs act as cell protectors and preserve the functioning and functional integrity of the body cells. These are the medicines, drugs having Rasayana property. These are easily available. This is Guduchi, Ashwagandha, Haritra, Amalaki, Shatavari and Draksha. These drugs will take care of prophylactic management as well as the overall health during the COVID-19 and post-COVID-19 management. This can be used as preventive as a curative aspects. Even after COVID infection. These are the pictures of these plants what I mentioned earlier. Guduchi, Ashwagandha, Haridra, and Amlaki and Shatavari and Munakka, the Draksha. So be with yoga, be at home, be safe and be healthy. Thank you one and all. Thank you for your patience here.